Okay, so let's jump into this really old story that, believe it or not, has some seriously good advice for making sense of our crazy, busy lives. It's all about a search for the answers to three huge questions and what that can teach all of us about focus, purpose, and just, living a better life. So, this story comes from the one and only Leo Tolstoy, and it starts with an emperor. And this guy is obsessed with something we can all kind of get behind. He's looking for the ultimate cheat code for success and happiness. He gets this idea in his head that if he could just figure out the answers to three little questions, he'd have the perfect roadmap for life. And here they are. So, what are these big, life changing questions? Well, they seem pretty simple on the surface, don't they? When should I do things? Who should I hang out with? And what's the most important thing to be doing? He was totally convinced that if he could just nail these down, he'd have mastered life itself. No more screw-ups, no more what-ifs. So he asks all his wise men, and nothing. The answers he gets just don't cut it. So, frustrated, the emperor goes looking for a wise hermit who lives way out in the mountains. And it's through this kind of weird, unexpected series of events that the hermit finally shows him the first piece of this whole puzzle. And the hermit's answer? Whoa. It was so simple, it was kind of mind-blowing. It's not about some grand schedule or trying to see the future. The most important time, the only important time, is right now, the present moment. Why? Because it's the only time we actually have any power. And you know what's wild? This ancient idea lines up perfectly with a super practical modern concept called the law of when, which, stands for what's important now. It's this whole strategy about focusing on what's happening in the moment so you can adapt and grab opportunities instead of just being totally locked into some plan you made last week. Okay, think of it like a board game. Have you ever played Ticket to Ride? You have this perfect plan for your train route, right? But then someone swoops in and blocks you. If you just stubbornly stick to your original plan, you're gonna lose, for sure. But if you adapt, if you look at what's important now on the board, you might just find a totally different and even better way to win. Life is exactly like that. Rigid plans break. Being present and flexible wins. All right, so if the most important time is always now, that makes the emperor's second question even more critical, right? If we're supposed to be living right here in this moment, who should we be focusing on? Who's the person that really matters? And again, the hermit just nails it with this beautiful, simple truth. The most important person is whoever you're with, the one right there in front of you. Not someone you're going to meet tomorrow, not someone you were with yesterday. The person sharing this present moment with you, that's who matters. And this story, man, this just shows you how powerful that idea is. This quote is from a guy who was all set to go to a party one night, but on his way, he bumps into a stranger who needs help moving into her dorm. He decided to help. He missed the party, but because he focused on the person right in front of him, he met his future wife. He ditched his plan and literally found his entire life. Okay, so this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, right? We've got the time, now. We've got the person, whoever we're with. So what's the most important thing we're actually supposed to do in that moment with that person? And here it is, the final answer. The most important thing you can possibly do is to do good for that person, to help them, to listen to them, to make them happy in some small way. According to the hermit, that's it. That's the whole point. That's the great work of our lives. Okay, but let's get real for a second. That sounds nice and all, but in the heat of the moment, when you've got a million things pulling you in different directions, how do you actually choose the right way to do good? How do you know what to do? Well, to figure that out, we've got to understand the voices inside our own heads. See, we've basically got these three different drivers inside of us all trying to grab the steering wheel. You've got your instinct. That's the voice that says, I'm hungry, I'm tired, get me out of here. Then there's your intellect, the planner, the one that's always making lists and trying to solve problems. And then there's your intuition, that quiet, deep gut feeling about what's right. And that's where mindfulness comes in. It's not some complicated thing. It's just the pause. It's that moment of awareness that lets you see which of those three drivers is trying to take over. And instead of just reacting on autopilot, you actually get to choose. You decide if your next move is going to be led by a sudden impulse, by overthinking everything, or by that deeper, calmer wisdom. So let's put this all together. Let's see how this ancient story gives us a real, practical framework for becoming the driver in our own lives and actually living with some purpose. So here it is, the whole shebang. This is the simple, powerful operating system the emperor was looking for all along. Anytime you feel lost or confused, you can just come back to this. The time is now, the person is who you're with, and your mission is to do that person good. Simple as that. And this is so, so important to remember, especially today. Our lives aren't self-driving cars, you know? They don't just figure things out for themselves while we sit back and check our phones. Life demands that we show up, that we're engaged, that we're the ones with our hands on the wheel. Which really just leaves you with one last question to take with you. Right now, in your own life, who's driving? Is it your impulsive instinct, your overthinking intellect, or that quiet, guiding intuition? And maybe more importantly, are you truly present and here for the ride?